Hi Atari fans, this is Carl Forehand from Songbird Productions, and I thought I'd give you a little overview of a project I've been working on called Jaguar CD Unleashed, a CD emulation project. So this is kind of something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and it's not finished yet, but basically it allows you to emulate a lot of the CD BIOS functions which get installed when you have the physical CD player installed on your Jaguar console. And it emulates those functions so that you don't have to have the actual CD or CD player installed. You can do this on a cartridge which would have a large capacity, such as some kind of SD cartridge or USB flash storage or whatever. And I thought it'd be just kind of a cool way to preserve these games so that people could enjoy them for decades to come. So you can see here I've got a picture of the Atari Age thread where I post information on this project. So if you go to AtariAge.com to the forums and look for Atari Jaguar, and then you can look for that title you see there, Jaguar CD Unleashed, the CD BIOS emulation project. That's where you'll find the latest information of what I'm doing. So I'm just going to scroll down here for a minute and show you a list of functions that I've got implemented so far. There's a whole bunch of calls that were defined in the original Atari developer docs as far as how game developers would interact with the CD mechanism. So I'm not going to read through all these here, but you can see there's a long list there. They're all CD underscore whatever, CD ACK, the get table of contents, init, and so on. And I've got a number of those implemented. There's kind of two modes that the CD player runs in at a high level. There's just sort of data transfer mode where you can take data from the CD and move it to a location in RAM. It's just a one-time transfer, and that's what I've been working on mainly because that's sort of like a file system emulation, and that's not very complicated and is easy to emulate because you can just completely bypass the CD-specific nature of those calls and just do a memory transfer from another location on the cartridge. The second mode, which I have not implemented yet because it takes some special hardware involvement, is the asynchronous mode where you can continue to stream data from the CD unit to the Jaguar. This is useful if you want to have background music, CD quality audio that streams in the background of your game, or if you wanted to do like large video clips where you're streaming into a buffer that wraps over and over so you can watch full motion video, that sort of thing. That's going to take a little bit more work and some specialized code and possibly hardware, FPGA, and a cartridge so that you can interface with that properly. So that's part of the long-term project, I guess. But for now, what I want to show you is a demo of a game I have that's actually running right now using the CD emulation. And this one's actually not a game, it's a slideshow I did way back, in the mid-2000s. I went to a number of the Classic Gaming Expo shows in Las Vegas, and those were great shows, a lot of fun, a lot of neat Atari fans and just general gaming fans out there to interact with. I always enjoyed those shows. And so as a thank you to the organizers of that show, and a thank you to the Atari fans that make those shows so fun, I created a CGE 5th anniversary slideshow, which had slides from previous Classic Gaming Expo shows, all in a CD that you could play on the Atari Jaguar. It wasn't a huge CD, it was only a few dozen pictures that took up just over 4 megabytes. A standard Jaguar cartridge can only do 4 megabytes max, even though theoretically you can actually do a 6 megabyte cartridge, but none of those were ever made in practice. So this CD was over 4 megabytes, it's about 4.5 I think, and so it had to be released in CD format, but I knew that I wasn't using any of the special streaming modes of the Jaguar. I was only using the data transfer, where I was taking a slideshow off of CD and moving it to a spot in RAM. So I knew that I should be able to emulate that. So I'm going to switch the camera around over here and show you my setup. You can see I've got a TV there and an Xbox One. You can ignore the Xbox One, that's not part of the demo. Just something I do for fun when I'm not coding, I guess. And over here I've got actually a pair of skunk boards in 2 different Jaguars. This is because I was doing some networking testing with the Doom code earlier this year. So I've still got the second Jaguar out here, even though I'm not using it at the moment. Right now I'm just using this Jaguar here on the left, where I've got a skunk board plugged in, which is in the little half-high white cartridge shell. That's a custom shell that was made by a fellow Atari fan. And then I've got it linked up to this TV here. So what I'm going to do is turn on the TV. And then I'm going to set the camera down here so you can see what's going on, and I'm going to pick up the Jaguar controller. So what I have to do is hold up and press the A button while I'm booting the Jaguar, and that's going to boot the Jaguar in the 6 megabyte ROM mode, because basically I'm not using external storage yet on this CD emulation. So even though in theory it could talk to, you know, a 1 gigabyte flash memory potentially or something like that, right now it's only talking to the 6 megabyte cartridge space. Okay, I've got the camera set up, and I'm now going to boot the Jaguar over the skunk board in the 6 megabyte mode. And again, I'm going to hold D-pad up and A while I'm doing that, and let's see what happens. There's the splash screen for the CG 5th anniversary. And coming up here in a second, you'll see the Songbird logo with the defunct web address. I haven't used that in many years. It's actually songbird-productions.com. And here's the main menu. So when I was developing this, the problem I had was with this last slideshow, because that's the one that spilled over the 4 megabyte boundary, and it took some extra effort to get that to work properly on the skunk board, to boot it in 6 megabyte mode. So let's go ahead and display that slideshow and see what that looks like. So you can see here I've got a number of slides dating back from that show. Some of the pictures are pretty decent conversions. Others clearly aren't that great, either because of the Jaguar resolution or just what I used to convert the pictures at the time. You know, these were designed originally for a tube TV, and now that everybody uses flat screen, LCD, and LED TVs, you know, you get a lot crisper image, but the downside is if it's a low-res image, it doesn't look so great. So, not as impressive as it maybe was back in the day, but at least shows that the emulation technology works, and I'm looking forward to working more on this, because I think it's going to be a cool project that I want to share with all Jaguar fans, so that eventually people can enjoy CDs from their private collections and not have to worry about damaging a CD unit or even tracking one down, given how rare and expensive they are. So there you have it. This is the demo of the Jaguar CD emulation project. Jaguar CD Unleashed is what I've been calling it. And this is Carl Forehand from Songbird Productions. Thanks for watching, and thank you for all the support that you've provided to Songbird over the years. It's been a lot of fun supporting Atari fans.